All right. So what I'd like to do is just take you through Privy and how I'm finding deals on a daily basis. And so one thing that is so cool is there was one that I had last week, and I was doing some searching, and we did a webinar, for investor clients, and there was a property in Homewood, and I found the property. And when we were doing the webinar, Benson from Privy was doing a search, and he just happened to pull up a property in Homewood. And it was one that I had already submitted an offer on that afternoon. And I thought it was just hilarious that he pulled up the exact same property. We won the property as well off of Privy. So we're winning deals already off of Privy, but I think we need to be using it, and we need to learn how to use it. So I'm going to take you, and I'm going to share my screen right now. And, if you don't mind, you can chat back to me through here. And just on the right-hand column, you will be able to just chat back. If you can't see something, or please let me know, all right? Or unmute yourself and just yell to me that you need to see something, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and share the screen. All right, can you guys see what I'm seeing here? Yes, okay, all right. Sorry, I couldn't see it when I was sharing it. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to sharing it. Okay, so what I wanted to do is just go through some of the criteria. And this is something, if you have a pen and paper handy, I would like you to jot this down, because I think this is a good starting point. So we're going to log into Privy. We're in our main we're on our main page of where we're searching for homes. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to here where it says search filters, MLS, past 24 hours is how it's set up. It's kind of defaulted to that. So I'm going to expand the search criteria, okay? Now, because we're working with investors that are typically wanting to do fix and flips or rental properties, the first thing that I do click is I click onto fix and flip. Then what I've found from doing this as long as I have now, the best thing to do is click ARV percentage, and I enter 75% into that box here. So fix and flip ARV is at 75%. Is that, oops, somebody just hopped on there. If you don't mind muting yourself when you hop on, that'd be great. The next part I'm going to want to do is because we're searching for foreclosure properties, maybe on a daily basis, I only want active properties, okay? I'm going to leave this city blank right now. This is a big one, which I miss all the time. It's because it's hidden so far down, the date, past 24 hours. Now, here's the problem with searching the past 24 hours. It doesn't show you if a property was price changed or something like that. So I go back typically 1 month in my search. So again, fix and flip, ARV, 75%. That means the property's priced at least 25%. The after rehab value, at least that amount. They're active, and the date is the past month. So because we have brokers from all over the Chicagoland area, maybe we'll start out with Joliet. That's a popular town, all right? So again, all my criteria is set. The only thing I added in here is Joliet within the past month, and I'm going to click search. Now, as I click search, we're only in the Joliet area, and you'll see, and this is a question that I had initially. There's ones that are kind of gray and green, and then there's the green and blue. And the green and blue are what they call Privy preferred, meaning it really, really thinks, their algorithms think that this is a really, really good deal, Okay. Now, I don't necessarily feel that it doesn't really make much of a difference to me if it's privy preferred or if it's another property that comes up. So just so you know what the color difference is between the two. So in Joliet, this is an area I know. All right, so here's a property, 2908 Bloomfield Drive, located in Joliet. I'm going to click on the little button here to kind of keep it from disappearing. Then I'm going to click on the property itself. Okay, so now we've got all the details of this house. We've got the photos of what the current condition is of the property. And this one, that's all the photos that they have uploaded. So this is what you see is what you get with photos on this. And it says house sold as is, partially finished lower level, good investment. Okay, a lot of the terms I like to see, property features, any more details when it was built, the square footage, beds, baths, all that kind of detail. Now we come into this map area here. So I want to run my comps on this particular property. And this box that they automatically default to is 1 mile. Now, we all know we don't want to use comps that are probably on the other side of I-80. And in this case, there are no comps on the other side of I-80. So we don't need to change this box out. This is all within the same neighborhood, okay? But you can change this box shape. And you can do that by going over here, draw comps area. And to do that, I could just draw this area and only pull up comps that fall into this little neighborhood that we're searching, okay? Now what I think is really cool is as we get down, as we get down a little bit further, and can you see down below? I just want to make sure everybody's able to view down below. If somebody could just chime in verbally, because I can't see the chat box right now.
You want us to see the comps?
Yeah, can you see the stuff at the bottom, the blue and the red here?
Yeah, we can do
okay. So now the first thing that comes up is this is the subject property. Our home, it'll give us our list price and the price per square footage, how many bedrooms, how many baths, how many garage, how many stories. Now in Illinois, it's unique. Because if we have a tri-level, they call it like a 1-story a lot of times. And this is really like a tri-level. So they don't have criteria like that. So you do need images. And what's nice with Privy is we're able to see that. Then it'll also have DOM, days on market. So we know that this property, Privy pulled up, is a potential deal. It's been on the market for 2 days. Then it pulls up one of the comps. It's another property located on Bloomfield. It's a sold property, and it sold for $237,000. It says price per square foot is $110 per square foot, and it's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, 1 story again, built in 2006, and it was days on market was 68 days, and it closed on 7/12 of 2019. So now looking at this property is located extremely close to the subject. So here's our property right here. And this comp is on our it's on the same street, so we probably know it's darn close by. But then our comp, we can actually just click on the comp here. This one is at 2917 Bloomfield. And now we can see what did this comp look like. All right, this is the identical house to the subject property, all right? It's very, very similar, except what I would say is that the property is in very good condition, nice and tidy and clean, but it's a little dated. You know, it needs a little bit of maybe updating on the inside, lots of oak, lots of standard type stuff, a stainless steel refrigerator, range, and microwave. So I would say probably a pretty good comp for us. And so that's one that I'm going to leave in my comps. That's a property I would feel that would be a good comp for this particular home. So, but if I did not like the comp, I can garbage it by hitting the trash can right here and deleting it. But I want to keep this comp in there. So then I'm going to go down a little bit further and I'm going to look at another home. This is a property that was over on Pioneer. This particular property was 1,830 square feet. It sold for $213,000. It sold for $116 a square, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2-car garage, 1 story, built in 1988, and it sold on 7/17, and it took 35 days to sell. So again, I want to just check it out, see what's the story on this one. This one's an older one, and it's older than the subject property. Again, another great comp. It's not the same house as ours. Ours is newer. Ours is actually larger. And so our value would obviously be higher. Property looks nice and tidy from what I can tell. It's nice and clean, and some updates have been done to the home. I would say that the fireplace on the lower level here, probably out of style. The kitchen looks relatively updated. It's a more modern kitchen than the oak style, but a good comp that's smaller than us. So I'd want to leave that one in the mix. Then I'm going to go down to another sold comp. Here's one on Kathy. This one is 1,220 square feet. The price, it sold for $204 at $96 a square foot, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2-car garage, 1 story, built in 1990. It's an older home than the subject property. So now what I want to do is just take a quick peek at this one. Let's see what it's all about. So this particular home, again, it looks like it's decent. It's clean and tidy. There is some updates in a few of the rooms. It's just an older home built in 1980. We're built in 2003. There's a significant value difference. And I personally, now I know this subdivision, so I know this is the older section, and where the other properties at is the newer section. So what you may have to do is, this gives you a good starting point. You just found 3 good comps for this subject property. What you can do is, just to verify, is then hop on the multiple listing service and pull your comps in that neighborhood, and even pull the comps that are showing here, and maybe you will even be able to find a better comp. I can give you a guarantee, knowing this exact house here that we're looking at right now, this is a $230,000 house. What if we could buy it for $165? What if we could buy it for $160, $155? Who knows? Whatever we could buy it for. Now, because it's new on the market, relatively new, it was listed on 7/29, we're probably not going to be able to go in hot and heavy and bring in a lowball offer on the property. But again, this is something that I would be paying close attention to, because the renovation on this property would be darn low level. And I can tell, because the house is nice and tidy and clean, it just needs some updated items. Like, I'd update the kitchen cabinets, or I'd at least paint them in that gray color, and some other updates inside the house. But we're limited on the total number of photos we can see. So I think this is something where right now, I just pulled this up on Privy, within a matter of minutes, we're able to find a property that would meet most investors' criteria, or darn close to it. So that's one of the properties. So other towns, let's do this again. So it's automatically right now defaulted to fix and flip. ARV 75%, active. City is Joliet. Past month. Let's type in Naperville. So in Naperville, we've got a ton of properties that fall into this. The higher in price, now if you notice, my price range is $0 to $5 million. So, you may want to narrow your price range down for whatever what you are specifically looking for. I may go in here and say, you know what, I only want homes that are going to be in the price range of $0 to $300,000. So obviously now that map starts to shrink down to a much smaller amount, and there's a number of properties in the Naperville area. Again, doesn't mean that they're all good deals, but they're potential good deals. So we take a property. This one is actually where I'm going to be going later tonight, over to the grocery store, and this is right near there. So this is on Cardinal Lane. Let's pull this particular property up. All right, this one. Now here, this is where you have to start paying attention to photos. And what I really like to look at is, if you notice on this house, there's like a 2-car driveway, and then you got a 1-car garage. And then you've got this like little window area or door or something that's sitting here. You know, is this house worth more if it was a 2-car garage or not? So maybe when you run your comps, you want to be looking at 2-car garages. So, but it flagged it as a sale, as a good deal. And we can tell that it's pretty well dated on the inside, neat, tidy, and clean. So it means it's not a disaster. It just needs complete updating, because the consumers at this price level are absolutely not wanting to do anything inside the property. So this property was listed on 7/13. It's $285,000. And the court approval is because estate is in probate. So this is the private remarks in the MLS that you and I can see in here. So the court has to confirm the sale, easy process, which it is. So now you'll see all the comps that have been pulled up around the subject property. There's going to be solds, actives that are within the mix here. But if you look at the map, the comps that it pulled south of 75th Street, which all of us know 75th Street is a main drag in Naperville. That's a main street. So maybe I want to get rid of some of those comps. I might only want homes in this area
11 p.m.
that are right here.
Haziraj, Haziraj.
Hey, Drita, do you mind muting yourself?
Yes, sorry, I didn't know that.
That's okay. So now I just drew an area, a comps area, which is this particular subdivision, okay? And now I can look at one of the comps that's on here, this property on Tupelo. This property, looking at the map, backs up to 75th Street. That's probably not going to be a great comp, and not one that I would really want to use. So, excuse me here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down, find where that property on Tupelo is at. 214 Tupelo, I'm going to give that one the garbage can. That's on a busy street. So now I'm removing that comp from the list. Here's another one that backs up to Washington Street. So let's see what this one's at. Well, that's a high sale. I wonder why something backing up to Washington Street would sell that high. That's something I got to look into a little bit. So I'm going to go through each one of the comps individually and look at these properties. So we know we have our subject property is a raised ranch with a 1-car garage, which we know could be converted back into a 2-car by just looking at it, that it could be back into a 2-car garage. So as I go through the comps, I want to start maybe going through the comps that are investor comps that are pulled here and see if I can find a raised ranch similar to the subject property. Okay, I haven't found anything identical to the subject property, but I've found tri-levels that are within the subdivision, and I've found ranches that are within the subdivision. And here's a property that just recently sold, shows that it's 1,868 square feet. So let's just pull this one up real quick. All right, this looks like somebody went in, did a renovation on the property of some sort. Maybe they live inside the house, and I want to look at the comps. You know, it looks like what we would do on a renovation. They may live in the home, they may not. Yeah, they probably do. But this property is a little bit larger than the subject property. But it has a 2-car garage. It's got the 3 bedrooms, the 2 bath, and it is a comp that I would include into my list. This would be a comp that I would be using. So that particular property here, that's located over on, Lake's going to. And I'm searching for it. I think it was on Atlas. Sorry, it's sticking. Oh, baby. One on Atlas. So this is one I definitely want to keep in the mix. This is a comp I'm going to absolutely use in the mix. And then I saw another property that's active right now at 839,000. That's way out of whack. We just know it's probably maybe a tear down or something. I don't even need to dive in deeper on that. Here's another tri-level that's sold over on Tamarack. So this would be one we would want to take a look at as a comp. Again, very similar. Somebody went in, this looks like, you know, a typical rehab of what we would do inside of a property. So somebody went in, renovated this house, and turned it into, you know, something beautiful, and they sold the property for $429,000. Now, if you remember, the property that we're looking at is listed for $285,000. So how much renovation do we have inside the property? You know, based on the square footage of 1,911 square feet, we got to maybe convert the garage. Maybe we have $40 a square foot to do it in renovation, maybe a little bit less than that. But we know that the homes are popping out close to $400,000. Again, hop on the MLS, dig a little bit deeper, and then you also have your comps that you could run through right through here and use those and share those then with your clients. So you can actually share this property with your client and all the comps. If you were to hit share up here, it's going to send everything that you see here, and it's all interactive to your clients. You can email it to them, or what I like to do is I like to grab the link and I like to share it via text, and I'll send over to them. I'll be like, hey, Joe, here's a real hot property I found for you. Click on the link below, and it'll just say privy. And then they click on it. It's going to take them to exactly this page about this property. And if you've deleted the comps you don't want, you know, you're not going to see them. So if you garbage can, the one for $800,000, that's a garbage can. And there's probably more that you will do. So you can either send it to them via email by putting their email address in here. Change the subject line too. This just seems too generic. I like to change it if I'm going to send it via email. But like I said, I really like sending over this link via text because the clients open this stuff up. So if you send it via text or email, it makes no difference. This link works. And this is what the client is going to see is everything you've put together in your report. So very simple way. Now let's just hop on to something that's up north. Let's hit like Lake in the Hills. Lori, are you on this call from the Roselle office? Marson, do you know if Lori's on?
No idea.
Okay. So if we hit Lake in the Hills. Oops. Sorry, fix and flip. ARV, 75%. Active, past month, and I'm going to do Lake in the Hills. So now, again, you know, there's Lake in the Hills is not a huge area, but I've got, you know, properties down here, you know, all the way around in the neighborhood. You know, there's a number of properties to look at, and so looking at Marshall, I know you live somewhere right near where this area is at, but like Chadwick, this is a right off of Miller. Let's look at this one, all right? So it's newer construction. What does it say? All right, bingo. It was listed on 7/30, 2019. It's listed for 119,850 pursuant to short sale, okay? So cash only, mold in the finished basement for sump pump failure. We're getting the private remark. So if you're working with cash, with no cash buyers, well, that was a pretty quick no-go. But if you are working with cash buyers, it's a short sale. We may be able to go in low on this, but what's the place really worth? So as we go a little bit further down, I want to, again, change this map around because there's a lot of streets here that are outside of our subdivision, and there's enough comps in our neighborhood. So I'm going to, again, draw comps area. I click on it, and I go down and around. So now I'm only going to be viewing the comps within our subdivision, or they should be likely in our subdivision. So there's a few properties that are under contract, but again, our property is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,667 square feet. We know that it's got a basement, and let's look at some of our comps here, okay? So there's a property that's under contract. A property that's under contract. This one is 2,482 square feet, so a couple hundred square feet smaller than the subject. Under contract at $299, $120 a square foot, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2-car garage, 2 stories, built in 1999. We were built in 2001, very similar, 98 days on market. What did that one look like? All right, so it's got an updated kitchen, but, you know, a little outdated, but still updated. You know, it's got some nice, you know, it's nice and tidy and clean, but it's not going to look as nice as our houses once we're done with it. So again, good comp, going to use it. Then I'm going to scroll down to the next one. Here's one that's active. This one's going to be a competitor of mine over on Banbury. So I'm going to click on this particular property. Somebody went in and whitewashed it. So this is one that somebody went in and fixed it up. It is, again, this property is 2,404 square feet, listed at $269, $112 a square, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2-car garage, 2 stories, built in 1999. It's been on the market for 15 days. So that's one. Hey, I would leave it in the mix. You know, the other one was $299. What's the story? This one, again, is a little bit smaller. I'm going to leave that one in the mix. And so I don't need to trash them. So you may just keep going down the list on each one and seeing what ones you want to leave in and which ones you want to take out. So if it's not a good comp, it's too high, too low, not comparable enough, you know, I'm going to start removing that way. So, you know, that's another property that I feel that would be something absolutely perfect for an investor, of which, yeah, it's only been on the market for, you know, a short period of time. Yeah, you're probably going to have to go in strong, but if the home's worth $3 bills, this home, even with mold in the basement, we know it's not going to take that much to get this property all in tip-top shape. I know we don't have photos of the inside of the house. I got it. They only wanted one photo because it's a short sale, but I can tell this house is not going to be a disaster other than the basement. So, so that. And then, again, same thing. If I wanted to share this property with my client, send it via email, copy the link, click send, and voila, that property's off to your client, okay? So now let's go back to another one. We're going to do one more. Is everybody okay? I mean, are you following along with me? Yes, no, maybe so. You can unmute yourself.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
So now let's hit Elgin. Same criteria, fix and flip, ARV 75%, active city Elgin, past month, and I'm going to click search. So now I've got all of Elgin here, And the downtown area, older homes, and we've got enough to look at, some privy preferred. Again, like I said, doesn't really make much of a difference to me. Here's one on the very far east end of town. Okay, let's pull this one up. It's over on Highbury. So this one, I've sold a lot in this subdivision. So for me, I kind of, at 124, I already know it's a deal. But this one is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's a raised ranch with a 2-car garage, and it's only got 1 photo. We don't know what the inside looks like. So let's see what these things are popping out at. So our property's 1,500 square feet, listed at 124, $79 a square foot right now. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2-car garage, 2 stories, built in 1977, 2 days on market. Another one, well, this one's identical to the subject property. This one's the same model. It's just the garage is on the front of the house and not on the side. This one, let's look at it. So let's just look at the quality of construction and renovation. It's painted cabinets and some updates, neat and clean, updated bathroom, partially updated. Looks good. It's under contract for $210,900, and it was on the market for 43 days. So a short period of time. It wasn't on the market for a long time, so it wasn't dragging out there. So that would be a comp I'd want to use. Here's another property that's pending at $195,000. Now, this particular home, a little bit smaller in square footage. This one here pending $226. Kind of looks like a nicer house than the subject property. Here's a sold over on Highbury. Let's just see what it's all about. Hop in there, kind of a lower sale. All right, I know why this one didn't, sold at the price that it did. It looks like original kitchen cabinets. A lot of the original stuff inside the property. Again, clean and tidy, but not updated. 1 bath. I may take that one out of the mix and not use it since it's only 1 bath. So I could go ahead and garbage maybe that one, or I could leave it in there and just make the adjustments for it and explain to the client, hey, that one only had 1 bath. Let's use it, and let's use that as a comp and adjust for that and maybe for a few other items. So another property on Highbury, great. If they fall all on the same street like this is an absolute miracle, okay? So you're seeing a miracle happening as we speak. This is a newly remodeled home. Somebody went in, fixed it up, sold it. Very similar. It's the same model as us as well. This one popped out at $190, but now look at the sold date. This is nearly a year ago. So now we need to make adjustments for this property because it was a year ago and it's only 1 bath. So we've got to make some adjustments on the property. But again, I would send that over to the client and go, hey, they put in white kitchen cabinets. This is the level you need to bring this place to. Throw in your laminate flooring, pop in some stainless, throw in some cabs and some, granite or marble or whatever, and get this property back on the market. So again, we know this is a potential deal. And I would encourage you to absolutely, send this property out by sharing it out to your clients. So that's sending that out. Now, that's just all the searching that I'm going to do tonight. As always, you can reach out to me to learn a little bit more about searching. But the last thing I would like to do is just save this search. Let's say I have a client only looking in for fix and flips, ARV at least 75%, active only, in Elgin, past month. If I go in here and I click save, I can then name my search. Let's say my client's name is Joe Blow, and email frequency. I want him to get this stuff it's daily. So my default is daily. Then I select my recipients and I'm going to put my client in there who I want to get this every day. They're going to be updated with all of the properties that come up that meet that criteria on a daily basis. And so you set it and you forget it. I think that's a thing that they sell on TV, but you set it and you forget it, and it's being sent, properties are being sent out to your client on a regular basis. I really wouldn't take the specific town. I would try to expand out, maybe do like a radius search when you're searching for properties, maybe eliminate Elgin, just scratch that out and go to drawn and then draw it, draw the area that you want. Maybe I want to include Elgin and I want to get into Bartlett and some other area, Hoffman Estates, and voila, there we go. Now all the properties, then I save the search and they'll get everything in that area that I'm searching. Or I could put in the county. I want to search, my client wants something in Will County, or my client wants properties everywhere. So I hope you guys can see there's so much we can do with Privy, and it's taking a lot of the legwork off of us. And even if you've got a client, when a client calls up and they say that, oh, I want the hot list. All right, well, here's your hot list. You set them up on a search, whatever their criteria may be, and you put it right in there and you send it out to them. But I would definitely have a price point in there. I would not leave it open to the $1 million houses. You find out what the buyer wants. That would be one criteria I would try to narrow down, is the price point here. So if you want to unmute yourself, if you have some questions, please chime in. I'd like to answer those right now if we can.
Hey, Christian.
Yeah.
So days on market, if we do a cancel relist, or let's say someone does a cancel relist, does it reset the days on market, or does it keep continuous count?
I'm watching days on market and how PCHGs are going on there, because that's why I'm saying go back a month, because I can't tell how their system's reading, like price changes, reactivates. Does it all pull in there? And then the DOMs, is there a listing property history? Is that, I think from what I can tell, it looks like it's days on market as of when it was cancel relisted. If it's an active one, if it's a closed one, it's taking all of them, I think, is how it's doing it.
Okay.
But I'm not 100% on that. All right.
Okay. Thanks.
All right, fire away, guys. Come on, give me something.
Christian, this is Bessie. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Bessie.
Okay, I have a question about the price. Is the price related to what my client is looking for in price, or is that also what it's sold for?
No, it's just the price range. This would be the price range, like your client is looking for a home. You've got your property in Maywood. They're looking for homes from $60,000 to $200,000.
Okay.
So that's the range. That's but the home, maybe you'll find one that's in Maywood that's $180,000, but it's really worth $300,000 on Privy. It's going to pull up all the properties that are good deals that are priced in between this range, not the ARV.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks for the questions. Come on, everybody, give me something. You all have it locked solid. Everybody knows it. Can you give me it simple? You like it? You hate it? Is anybody there?
This is Bessie again.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not quite understanding the 75%, that piece, when you're looking at the ARV.
Okay, that means that the property, so if the home, this is searching for properties, if the home was worth $100,000 all fixed up, cleaned up, it would only show you properties that were $75,000 or lower as a potential deal to look at. So it's saying that the property is at least 25% under market when we put it at 75% ARV.
Okay.
Are you following me on that? Anybody else want to explain it better than I am? I'm not a math guy to explain math equations. Christy, you aren't either. Marson?
Okay.
He just muted it and probably put himself on. All right. Well, if you guys have any other questions, you know how to get a hold of me. Reach out. I will guide you through the process. We could kind of screen share like we are right now, but I really think that it's easy to use. and it's just start jumping in there and just start pulling up properties like we were today. So as always, thanks for joining on the call. I appreciate everybody taking time out of their day, and good luck selling over the week.
Thanks, Christian.
All right.
Thanks,
Guys.
Christian, for your time.
Thanks, Christian.
You're welcome.